Este episodio está dedicado a Mama Gloria y Papi Alfie. Gracias por todo. So the first step is to build our marinade. So into a large bowl, I'm going to add the juice from 2 oranges, the juice from 2 limes, I've got 4 cloves of garlic here. Next up is a teaspoon of ground coriander seed, teaspoon of ground cumin, got a teaspoon of ground annatto, also known as achiote. It smells kind of like Tabasco or something, so maybe that's one of the ingredients in Tabasco. Some salt. I'm gonna use like about a 1/4 teaspoon. Quick stir to mix everything together. And the recipe calls for 2 pounds of white fish. I'm using, I think this is halibut here, or tilapia. Can't remember. It's a white fish from Ecuador too, so that's good. I forget what it is, but it's white. So yeah, 2 pounds seems like a lot of fish. So we'll see how this turns out. We're going to cut these into bite-sized pieces. Big your bite is. People tell me I have a big mouth, so I'm gonna mix this so everything's nice and covered. Easy to use my hand. Cover that up with some plastic wrap, and I'm gonna refrigerate this, let it marinate for a solid hour. All right, now we're gonna start building up our, I don't know what to call it. I guess it's kind of like a curry in terms of consistency, sauce, if you will. Basically the way that we're gonna be cooking our fish. Yeah, I'll call it a curry because it's kind of built up the same way as a Thai curry would be, with some sort of liquid, and you'll see coconut milk and some aromatics. And then the meat just simmering away in the liquid. I guess you'd call it braising liquid. I guess that's the proper term. But I like calling it a curry because seaside fish and coconut just makes me think tropics and curry. So there you go. First step, I got my my big pot, since we got 2 pounds of fish, on medium heat, medium high, let's say. Now I'm gonna add glug or so of just plain old vegetable oil. Once that's up to temperature, which you can always check by sloshing it around, seeing if it's freely flowing. You could also just throw a little chunk of onion in there, and if it starts to bubble away, then you know you're ready. So I've got a yellow onion sliced up. Chuck that in. I've got 2 bell peppers in here. I got a yellow and an orange just for a nice little bit of color. Stir that around and just soften them up a little bit before we add the rest of the ingredients. All right, at this point I've got 4 small tomatoes. These, in this case it's vine tomatoes, but the recipe calls for Roma. You know, up to you. I'm gonna let these guys go for 5 or 6 minutes. All right, that's roaring away and everything looks a little bit melded together. You can see all the juices flowing. So at this point, I'm gonna add some coconut milk. This is a 13.5 ounce can. Recipe calls for 14 ounces. I hope that that is okay. So give it a good mix. And we're gonna let this go for 10 minutes. So at this point, our fish has been marinating for a solid hour, And we're gonna go ahead and join forces by dumping all of this, including the marinade, into this pot. Which may be easier said than done. It's a lot of fish. But as you can see, the sort of curry base, as it were, is actually the right amount for the amount of fish. So I'm just gonna have a lot of food on my hands. So, and it's fish, so you can't really keep it around too long. And now we're gonna cover it up partially so that we can reduce it a little bit and let that go for 20 to 25 minutes. All I can say is like tropical freshness. Coconut milk and the peppers and citrus just really create this, I don't know, they're just very bright and tropical. That's the only word I have for it, really. It's really good. It's something that I would definitely imagine sitting on a beach eating out of a coconut or something. The white fish is not overpowering. It's light in the same way that all the other ingredients work towards this sort of light, bright flavor. Yeah, there's really not much to say. It's delicious, but it's exactly what you'd imagine a tropical dish would be. It actually has sort of, it brings me back almost to the Polynesian recipe that I did, a series of recipes in that whole coconut milk as a foundation for a sauce kind of thing. And of course I got some fried plantains on the side and some rice. Okay, it's a good meal. It takes a little effort, but nothing too spectacular. Nothing crazy in terms of ingredients. So I would say definitely make this for your next beach day. I don't know when you'd eat this. Out on your patio, enjoying a pina colada and some nice coconut fish.